Dear students, now here's a complete explanation of the hysteresis loop. As you can see in the diagram, point O to A corresponds to initial magnetization and saturation at A, and its complete explanation is as follows. If the magnetization current I is increased in a positive direction to some value, the magnetic field strength H increases linearly with I, and the flux density B will also increase as shown by the curve from point O to point A as it heats towards saturation. Now points A to B corresponds to demagnetization, but the magnetization M not equal to 0 when the magnetizing current I equals to 0, and its complete explanation is as follows. If the magnetizing current I in the coil is reduced to 0, the magnetic field around the core reduces to 0, but the magnetic flux doesn't reach 0 due to the residual magnetism present within the core of the ferromagnetic material, and this is shown on the curve from point A to point B. Now let's come to points B to C. These 2 points B to C corresponds to the reversal of current direction where M not equal to 0 at C and magnetization current I is having some negative value, and its complete explanation is as follows. To reduce the flux density at point B to 0, we need to reverse the current flowing through the coil. The magnetizing force which must be applied to null the residual flux density is called a coercive force. This coercive force reverses the magnetic field, rearranging the molecular magnets until the core becomes unmagnetized at point C. Now, in order to understand it, please look at the diagram. At point C on the curve, the value of flux density B along y-axis becomes 0, whereas magnetizing current I corresponding to magnetizing force H is having some value along negative x-axis, and this value of current is represented by point C on the curve. Now let's come to points C to D, which belongs to saturation with all the dipoles in the reverse direction. It means that when the magnetizing current is along negative x-axis, then the dipoles of the ferromagnetic material start aligning themselves in the opposite direction, and its complete explanation is as follows. An increase in the reverse current causes the core to be magnetized in the opposite direction, and increasing this magnetization current will cause the core of the ferromagnetic material to reach saturation, but at this time in the opposite direction shown by point D on the curve. And it is similar to saturation point A, but the saturation at point A corresponds to positive values of magnetization current I. Now let's come to points B and E along y-axis on the curve corresponding to the values of magnetic flux density represented by the alphabet capital B. At points small b and E, ferromagnetic rod has permanent magnetization with magnetizing current I equals to 0, and its complete explanation is as follows. If the magnetizing current I is reduced again to 0 at point E, as the value of H becomes 0 along x-axis at point E on the curve, then the residual magnetism in the core will be equal to the previous value as at point B along y-axis, but in reverse at point E. Now, what is residual magnetism? Residual magnetism is defined as the magnetization left behind in a ferromagnetic material such as iron after an external magnetic field is removed. Now, dear students, we are going to discuss the points E, F and A on the curve which belongs to reversal of current, and its complete explanation is as follows. Again reversing the magnetizing current flowing through the coil, this time into a positive direction, will cause the magnetic flux to reach point F on the curve, and as before, increasing the magnetizing current further in a positive direction will cause the core to reach saturation at point A. then the BH curve follows the path A, B, C, D, E, F, A. As the magnetizing current flowing through the coil alternates between a positive and negative value, such as the cycle of an alternating current or AC voltage, this path is called a magnetic hysteresis loop, and this loop has been shown diagrammatically. Now, after discussing the formation of hysteresis loop, a question arises in our mind that what are the magnetic properties of a material from the hysteresis loop? So let's discuss them. From the hysteresis loop, a number of magnetic properties of a material are: first one is retentivity. It is a material's ability to retain a certain amount of residual magnetic field when the magnetizing force is removed after achieving saturation, and this retentivity is basically represented by point small b on the curve along y-axis. The second property of a magnetic material is the residual magnetism or residual flux. It is defined as the magnetic flux density that remains in a material when the magnetizing force is zero. The third property is coercive force, which is defined as the amount of reverse magnetic field which must be applied to a magnetic material to make the magnetic flux return to zero, and this coercive force has been shown by point C on the curve. Now, the fourth property of a magnetic material is the reluctance, which is defined as it is the opposition which a ferromagnetic material shows to the establishment of a magnetic field. Reluctance is analogous to the resistance in an electrical circuit. Now, this diagram is basically of a reluctance model of a ferromagnetic material, where the area of the loop is showing the reluctance, and along x-axis is the magnetic field, whereas along y-axis is the magnetic flux density. Dear students, as you all know that some magnetic materials are soft, whereas some of the magnetic materials are hard. Now here a question arises in our mind that explain the magnetic hysteresis loops for soft and hard materials. So the answer to this question is that the hysteresis loop for soft magnetic material is having a small loop area. So we will discuss them one by one. Firstly, soft magnetic materials. The soft ferromagnetic materials such as iron or silicon steel have very narrow magnetic hysteresis loops, resulting in very small amounts of residual magnetism, making them ideal for use in relays, solenoids and transformers, as they can be easily magnetized and demagnetized. Now their small loop area has been shown in the diagram. The hysteresis loop is having a very narrow loop area, and also it's having a small coercive force. Now we are going to discuss an important term that is called hysteresis loss, and after discussing this term we will discuss about the hysteresis loop for hard magnetic materials. So hysteresis loss is basically a term related to hysteresis loop for both soft and hard magnetic materials. Since a coercive force must be applied to overcome this residual magnetism, work must be done in closing the hysteresis loop, with the energy being used being dissipated as heat in the magnetic material. This heat is known as hysteresis loss. The amount of this loss depends on the material's value of coercive force as shown in the diagram. Now let's have an insight into the hysteresis loop for hard magnetic materials. For hard magnetic materials, they are really very difficult to get magnetized, but if it gets magnetized, it will be permanently magnetized. That is why it is called as permanent magnetic material. And the BH curve of the hard magnetic materials will be always having large area because of large coercive force as shown in the diagram. Now, in the end, I would like to share the success criteria for this very topic. So please try to remember the phenomena of hysteresis, the formation of hysteresis loop, different properties of magnetic material from hysteresis loop, and hysteresis loop for soft and hard magnetic materials. And that's all about our today's lecture. I wish you all the best. I hope you got it well. Stay safe and healthy. Allah Hafiz.